She's a cisgendered straight woman, and she's been HIV positive for 35 years. Up next.
My voice is powerful, and the voices of other women are powerful. Our voices could literally change the world.
Ask your healthcare provider if Biktarvy is right for you, and visit Biktarvy.com to view the important facts, including important warnings.
Hello there, and welcome to Plus Talk on Plus Life, where we're all about turning positive into a plus. My guest today has been HIV positive since she was 23 years old. I'm not going to say how long that was because that'd be rude. Andrea de Lange, good to see you.
Nice to see you, Carl. I have no problem saying I'm 58 years old now.
Well, there you go. Well, by the way, in some ways, is that a sort of a proud badge, considering you were diagnosed when you were 23? Back then, we didn't expect that we would make it to 58, right?
For me, it's just amazing. Every birthday is another celebration of being alive.
So when you were 23 years old, and I'm not good with the math, but we're smart enough to know that that was the time when you really didn't want to be diagnosed HIV positive. What were your prospects? What were you told? Because also unusual for a heterosexual woman to get this diagnosis, right? Or at least for people to talk about it.
Yeah, actually, because I didn't fit a lot of the stereotypes, I wasn't diagnosed sooner. And it wasn't until 3 years later, the test was available at that point. I had tested positive for Epstein-Barr virus, and directly across the street from my pediatrician was another doctor who specialized in Epstein-Barr. I went to him. On the very first visit, I got a physical, and he did an HIV test to rule out that possibility. And I never thought anything of it. And 2 weeks later, I went back to get a B12 shot. He had me starting to get B12, folic acid, and magnesium shots. And I was just there to get my shot. And that's when I found out that I tested positive. But he said, you can stay healthy. You don't ever have to get sick. And that was kind of an amazing thing to hear in 1987 at kind of the peak of hysteria. So I feel so lucky that I had him telling me that, because I think, those initial words are so powerful. And a lot of people were getting death sentences from their doctors when they were diagnosed.
What does life look like for you when you walk out of that office at 23 to face the rest of your life?
It was crazy. I went home. I had been living with a boyfriend at that point. We were living together a year, and I was so worried that I infected him. Pretty much all my thoughts and emotions were not really about me, but thinking I infected him. We had been having unprotected sex for a year. And I did tell him as soon as he got home. All the focus was shifted to him and whether he was infected, which he wasn't. But it was crazy scary for me. Still, I felt good. I wasn't sick at the time. I had started going to college and things were going great. I was an art major, loving my classes. And I'm a rebellious person. So everybody that said you're going to get sick and die, I'm like, no, you don't know that.
But you shifted gears and went on to major in, get a master's rather in marriage, family, and child counseling. And you really wanted to help other HIV positive clients. You did that for a course of time. How rewarding was that? And what made you again later decide to sort of shift gears?
I really loved working with HIV positive people and trying to encourage them and give them hope and let them know that I'm kind of like the example of somebody that can be doing well.
But do you remember the moment when you kind of decided to turn your positive into a plus? and what that turning point was for you when it went from, oh boy, to I'm not going to let this stop me?
I was going to Louise hay rides in West Hollywood on Wednesday nights. They called them hay rides in the West Hollywood Auditorium. We sang songs about loving ourselves the way we were. And I got a lot of reinforcement, a lot of holistic oriented people there. So I was among my people there. I was among a group of people that were reinforcing that I could stay healthy.
How important are groups like that? And how important is it for people to keep doing the work and to get the message of undetectable equals untransmittable out there, and to be a face and to show that, sadly, more than 50% of the population in this country still thinks that HIV is a death sentence?
It's incredibly important that we get that U equals you message emblazoned on your shirt. I love that. It's fantastic. It's a fantastic message. And there were so many misconceptions back when I was diagnosed in the 80s and 90s, et cetera, about even touching people, drinking from their glasses, using the same drinking fountain, or even sitting on the same chair. And now, my husband's HIV negative. And for anybody who has any wonder about, like, oh, she could infect him. No, U equals you. No, I can't. I'm undetectable. He's not going to get sick. He never did I never did transmit it, but now we've got all the science to back this up.
Yeah, it's huge. In the last couple of seconds I've got you, what do you want to say to other cisgendered women out there, heterosexual women, who may see this or, and think, oh God, well, it couldn't happen to me. This doesn't happen. What do you want to say to them? And what do you want to say to them if it does happen? Not maybe to them, but to a sister, a mother, a friend, a cousin, a relative. What's your message?
One of my big messages to women is that you need to insist on your partner, your male partner, if you're heterosexual, that they use a condom. I had gone to Planned Parenthood when I started having sex with a boyfriend who infected me. I had condoms. He refused to wear them. So I want to really emphasize that we need to insist on it and be strong and say, no glove, no love, and don't get hot and bothered first,
Right. Well, no, I think that's a good message, and it's a powerful message to say that we all have not just the responsibility, but the right to make those decisions about our bodies, and nobody should dictate otherwise. Andrea DeLange, thank you so much for your time. It's been real nice to see you and chat with you, and thanks for all the great work you do.
Oh, you're welcome, and right back at you. So nice to meet you.
That's going to do it for this episode of Plus Talk. Remember, if you want more information about what we've talked about or to check out previous episodes, you can go to the website, pluslifemedia.com. And don't forget to follow us across social media. We are at Plus Life Media. Until next time, take care, stay safe. We'll see you soon.